This is how easy it can be done. If you are having deja vu, I am too. I am Voice of DeFi. This is Christine. Christine, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
I'm great. Thank you to the 75 people that just hopped right in here on the first second that we're on.
That's right. That's right. I've never said any of this before. Now, we had some technical difficulties. We are live, Eat for Food. Thanks for asking. This is By the Rumor, episode 33. So here's what I'm going to ask right before we even get started. Please share out the room. Say, hey, what's up? Check out these people. They have no technical issues whatsoever. And post out this space. Get everybody in here as possible. Christine, I won in fantasy football, and you won. And I am a fantasy football savant. And are you? Are you a fantasy football savant?
I am not. Last year I was. I was number one the whole time during our league, and then on playoffs I lost.
That's what's going to happen to me. I'm worried that that's what's going to happen to me. And I fear that. I definitely fear that. All right. Well, if you've never been in here before, we are going to talk about all of these things on the right side of Christine, right next to Christine's head. Then after that, Christine has some hot opinions on universal basic income. If you saw Elon tweet out this week that everybody is going to have universal basic income, that got her gears spinning, and she wants to talk about it more. I want to talk a little bit about the mirage of decentralization and DeFi, so make sure you stick around for that. This is episode 33, so yeah, we've had 32 of these things where we'll talk about pop culture, about just crypto in general, and then a little bit of tech as well, so make sure you follow along. Let's start out with the Bitcoin dip. El Salvador, they are accumulating Bitcoin despite the fact that we're having this market dip. Now, not today. Today, we're ahead a nice 1.5% almost. And Christine, you were right. You said we would be under 100,000, and here we are under 100,000. I'm wrong. I'm 0-2 in
2 weeks in a row. Yep.
Yeah, I know. I wish I was an expert in this stuff, but I don't know nothing. Yeah, I'm 0-2. Christine and I have a crypto fantasy league, and she is 2-0, and I am 0-2, and that is too bad. But anyway, El Salvador's accumulating. Are they the smartest person in the room? Do you they got 1,098 Bitcoin in the last 7 days, despite the dip. Also, the National Czech Bank is buying as well. I know a lot of countries have crypto. Do you think all countries now have crypto, or just a few countries have crypto now in their wallets?
I think all countries have a little bit of crypto, whether they're bearish on it or not, or they're skeptical in a way, they have their hands on it. And who knows what it is, but I'm going to guess Bitcoin at this point. So a country could say, yeah, it's a scam. We don't get it. We're so skeptical. We don't think so. But I almost guarantee you that they have some type of Bitcoin. And then there's ETFs now too. So
yeah, that's a good point. MicroStrategy continues to buy. Obviously, El Salvador continues to buy. Other countries have it. The United States has Bitcoin that they have confiscated before. I don't know if all countries have Bitcoin, but I do think there is a shifting strategy that all countries now have. Used to, it was the US dollar. They were stockpiling that, and they may still be doing that. But I think many more countries are looking to other assets that are valuable. Gold's always been popular. Certainly Bitcoin is getting more and more popular. Crypto is getting to be something that governments are involved in. Is that a bad thing, or does that take away centralization if like a significant portion of all Bitcoin is held by like world powers. Should I be concerned about that?
That's a huge concern. I feel like when someone's holding a majority, right? Like what happens there? But I mean, the whole point of this whole crypto thing was decentralization. So it
Right.
should be a concern, right? So
Yeah.
I
So
don't.
that's what I don't like. That's what I mean, I like that there's adoption happening, and for the longest time it was like the institutional investors are coming. The institutional investors are coming. And now that they're finally here,
We're like, uh-oh,
we're
they're
like
the institutional
right,
investors
that
are
damn
here.
BlackRock. Right.
Oh
They're
my gosh.
yeah, we're also upset that they've got their hands in the cookie jar now because it was our thing and now it's everybody's thing and we don't necessarily like that. This morning, Christine, was I the first one to tell you about the Cloudflare outage, or did you go to any websites first before that and realize, oh no, nothing is working on the web? When did you
It
first realize
was
that?
you
Oh, that's nice.
this morning. I think you messaged me and it was like 8 a.m. and you were like, hey, Cloudflare, we might not be up. Nothing's working. ChatGPT is not working. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Didn't know it really affected me, but I do think it was a reason why my apps, 80% of them had to be re-downloaded.
Yeah, that's weird that they actually had to be re-downloaded. That shouldn't have anything to do with Cloudflare, but
Uh-huh.
I'll get into this in a bit whenever I talk about the mirage of decentralization. But don't you feel like after the Amazon Web Services thing, the AWS outage a few weeks ago, and then this, is this whole thing a house of cards, this whole internet thing? Like a few companies go out and we are dead in the water. We have no clue what we're doing. We can't stream. We can't read anybody's hot political opinions. Nothing is working. Are we too dependent on just a few small entities of the whole internet?
It kind of scares me when it's simply put that way because it does. And then it starts making me feel like, are we easily hackable in that sense of, you take Cloudflare down or anything, and then the whole house of cards is down.
Well, it makes it where communication goes down. Like
Yeah.
if if a country were to attack the United States, I mean, obviously they could attack and make, bloodshed happen, right? That's always been the traditional way. But a new way of attacking might be completely take out any type of communication, whether it be, by taking out a cloud server, taking out AWS, taking out Cloudflare, something like that. That I mean, I'm sure there's other ways to communicate, but that certainly would take a big way that we all communicate quite a bit, and it
Right.
creates pandemonium and chaos. And yeah, it created quite a bit of a disruption. Hey, I've got a question. In the morning, I had texted you, so you already knew. But is X your first? What's your first app you're headed to? Is it Graham? Where are you going to in the very early morning?
Looking at where my money is at,
Oh,
I
you
look
check
at
your
like,
portfolio first?
yeah, I check my portfolios and I'm
Okay.
like, bloodbath.
That's what he's been saying. And what did it say this morning? Did it actually load up?
Yeah, it did. So that's why I was confused when you were texting me, and I was like, oh, maybe it doesn't really have much to do with anything that I have to do except our show, and hopefully Cloudflare like comes back up. And then my phone, like all the apps, and then I
Yeah.
went on X after that and was looking. I was like, oh, Cloudflare's messing everything up.
Yeah. A lot of companies rely on Cloudflare. All right, tech stocks. I like tech stocks. You and I, whenever we've gotten deeper into
Yes.
options, you seem to like tech stocks. I don't know if MicroStrategy is a tech stock. It is in crypto, which makes it tech a little bit. So I know you hold that right now. Well, tech-led market plunge continued for the fourth straight day, rattled by concerns of Nvidia earnings and ongoing worries about valuations. Do you remember my voice lessons last week where I talked about how AI could be a bubble? If nothing else, even if it's not a bubble, the fear of a bubble makes a sell-off happen right now. Should tech stocks be concerned? Because we're about to get into the holiday season, and this is when I think a lot of people invest in tech. But that's not the case. Right now, we've seen 4 straight days of a tech-led market plunge. Should we be worried right now?
No, we should be buying.
Okay. Buy the blood is what you're saying.
Buy when it's ugly.
Okay. Well, it is ugly. This says high-flying tech and AI names tumbled again, rattled by concerns of NVIDIA earnings. Wall Street's focused on the chip giants' results for the third quarter, with NVIDIA's stock down 7% in the last 5 days. How is that?
Ooh-wee.
How are they tumbling down whenever there's such a demand for GPUs and all of the compute power that need NVIDIA chips? How is this even possible? How is this even possible
I
right now?
think I think just the economy is bad. And then,
Yep.
you have people, it's publicly traded companies, and a lot of people I think are selling. Just they're just nervous. Like, is it going to keep going down, and they're looking at their portfolios, and a lot of people are selling. A lot of people have been taking, I don't know, their 401ks out too,
Ooh.
and just their savings have been being tapped into. So,
I've I've
I
got
don't
a
know.
theory on why it's tumbling down. I
Why?
think this is a correction because I think they've been overbought for the past few months. People have gotten so high on AI. They use OpenAI. They get so excited. They're like, wow, I can do anything with this. This is the greatest tech ever invented. And you know what? AI is amazing. It does
Yeah.
kind of give you that feeling of this is amazing. And then you start realizing, oh my gosh, they need chips to power this. They need NVIDIA to power this. NVIDIA is going to the moon. And then it's self-fulfilling, right? Then NVIDIA has gone to the moon. NVIDIA has went, all the tech stocks have went way, way up. And is it possible we're just now getting back down to reality and the excitement of that is getting back down to reality? So the sell-off is not necessarily a sell to where below market value, but maybe it's just selling to where it maybe should have been this entire time.
So you don't think it has anything to do with this crappy economy
Of course,
slash recession?
of course it does because it goes way high and people are like, sometimes it's just like, I need money. And other times it's like people are like, I'm going to get out right now because I don't know if it's got much more upside on this leg of it. So people get out, it creates a fall, and now we've created a top and a local low. So that's not to say it can't go back up because I think all of the excitement about NVIDIA and all of the tech stocks came from people excited of where it was going. And that doesn't mean it's not going there still. And as you know, anytime you go on a trajectory up to the moon in a chart, it goes up and down and up and down, and
Uh-huh.
and that's
That's
trading.
life.
Yeah,
That's
that's trading.
life.
All right, I feel like first of all, you've been posting, you've been tweeting quite a bit lately, and this morning I feel like a lot of things that you have tweeted have ended up on this list. So I'm taking it as you as the expert for these. But autonomous driving is launching in 5 new cities. Waymo has begun fully autonomous driving operations in Miami, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, well, check out Texas in the representation here, and Orlando, demonstrating the rapid advancement of autonomous vehicle technology and its potential impact on traditional transportation systems. So, how many autonomous vehicles have you gotten into? So, you need to go somewhere. Maybe you've had something to drink. Maybe, I don't know, whatever your reason for needing a taxi, and you see that there's Waymos around and their ugly cars are all around. And yeah, I saw you say that.
I'm glad you said
I was baiting you. Their ugly cars are all around. And will you get in one? Or do you feel safe?
So you saw my tweet this morning, and I said, because I saw their expansion. Good for them. Congratulations. I just think they're so ugly. Like, why can't you make them more sleek looking? And don't tell me that they can't, because in Las Vegas, I think Hilton Conrad has a black um, Waymo-ish car, and then it's a passenger, I don't know, 10 passenger vehicle, autonomous, and it looks sleek. It looks cool. So Waymo, I know that you can do better than that ugly freaking car.
But aren't they? It's like it's a Benz or a BMW or something. Waymos are at least one city that I went into.
Well, it probably is, right? But an ugly one.
Okay, well they've got that bubble at the top. Isn't that what they have on Waymo? Those big bubbles at the top of them that like have all the little technology in
I
top
think so.
on top of it.
But I'm going to show you.
I don't know. I'm in Texas, and Waymo hasn't been to Texas yet. But you can read from what I just read. It's coming to Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. So maybe I'll check out. I want to drive an autonomous. Not to drive. I want to get in a Waymo vehicle and have it drive me around because it seems like that would be getting into the future, and I want to be part of the. You know me, I like tech, and so I want to get in a Waymo. I'm not scared, and I don't care how it. I think I differ than you. Is I don't care how it looks. What do you want it to look? What do you want it to look like?
I just
Are
think
you on
it
a
should
sports
look
car?
cooler. No, I think it should look futuristic and cooler. It just looks ugly. Like it looks like a freaking ugly car. Okay,
What's
look it. This is
Yeah, let's see.
this is the one at the Conrad Hotel.
Move it
And
a
that
little
one
more.
looks
Move a little to
futuristic.
your left. Yeah, keep on
My
going.
left.
Okay, that is ugly. You're right. You're right. That's not the one I've seen. That's not the one I've seen. The one I've seen are cars. They're normal looking cars. And you just get in and it looks like a ghost is driving them.
Yeah.
What are you? Give me a car right now, like a production car that you think it should look like.
I just think honestly, just like a sleek looking car, like the Waymo cars have all these like cameras all over and it looks ugly. You don't
Sorry.
think so?
No, sorry, I'm eating on air. You shouldn't.
Look
You
at
should
this Waymo.
move it down. Okay. What's wrong with that?
Look at all the freaking.
What do you want it to look like? The Back to the Future DeLorean? What are you
No,
wanting?
why does it? Why can't they hide the damn cameras? It's so hideous.
Do we need to? I don't know. I want to. I need to know how techy it is, and all of its cameras let me know just how techy it is. So I'm not freaked out. Let's see if you freak out about this next story, or are happy. First of all, do you like hot chocolate? Is that something you like in the winter, or are you like no,
I
not
do.
really?
I do.
You don't sound confident in that. I feel like
I feel like it's just more nostalgia. Like I love coffee, but hot chocolate's fun. I
so.
think it's fun.
Well, okay. What about chocolate in general? Okay, let's just say Halloween. Okay, you're looking through your kid's basket, and you're looking at what candy to steal.
I love chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say fruit candy or chocolate candy. Which one are you stealing?
Fruit in the chocolate.
Ooh, like a
That one's
chocolate covered
good.
raspberry or something like that.
Cadbury has this chocolate bar and it's called Fruit and Nut Bar and it's so freaking good. It has like I don't even know. It has almonds in there. It has cranberries and stuff. Really good.
Very interesting. Well, the U.S. president, it doesn't say his name here, so I don't know who it's even talking about. It says, says the U.S. president signed an executive order to lift tariffs on cocoa, enabling domestic chocolate manufacturers to remain competitive globally. And it says this is a significant move for the confectionery industry. Okay, this is where I'm going to admit my ignorance. I didn't realize that the confectionery industry was hurting because of tariffs. But apparently, we've tariffed cocoa so much that it's made it to where we can't bring it over here. What? Give me an American. Is Hershey the only American cocoa manufacturer, chocolate manufacturer that you can think of?
Hershey, Cadbury.
Is Cadbury? I don't know that Cadbury's American, is it? I think that's foreign.
Who isn't it Mars that makes
Okay, M&M Mars. Okay,
Yeah.
that is a company. That is an
That's a
American
company.
company. Nestle is foreign,
Oh, Nestle?
I
Yeah.
believe.
Oh, it's foreign.
I think so.
Okay.
I
Who makes
do
Kit
believe.
Kats?
Who makes Kit Kats? I believe that's M&M Mars. I don't know. Somebody that knows something about chocolate, because obviously we don't know anything about chocolate here. But anyway, apparently that's made it to where now there's no tariffs where you can bring that over. By the way, just reading some of the comments on here, it says Waymo is more aggressive than Tesla, and Alexander says that's a Zoox that you showed on your phone. It says both Waymo and Zoox are in some Northern Californian cities. So there you go.
Oh.
Yeah. Eat for Food did mention Nestle. So have you ever heard of Zoox? I haven't.
No.
Okay. Well, it's a Waymo competitor, I think.
Tesla just needs to get on. Like, they're the first ones I feel like that announced the autonomous driving. Like,
did.
you would think that he'd be on top of this. Like, now that everyone's
will.
more open to it, but he just wants to go to Mars.
He will. Well,
Speaking
and
of
that's
Mars,
you have to play
Ken.
M&M Mars. Right. All right. Next, this is probably our most ridiculous story of the day, is there's been some black market surgery. There's a bizarre case of a Thai man that was arrested prepare yourself, arrested for offering genital enhancement surgery in the back seat of a Toyota Corolla. Okay, speaking of cars, okay? And the man went on TikTok to promote his unlicensed business right there. So let me just read this to you because I feel like you might be interested or know somebody that might be interested in this. On October 18th in Bangkok, Thailand, a man that was 51 was arrested as he conducted a delicate procedure in the back seat of his vintage Toyota Corolla. Okay, the man known as Chang Ye Modify.
Chang Ye Modify.
There's no way his last name was Modify, right? He allegedly offered genital enhancement treatments to men in the region, despite the fact that he's not licensed to perform such services. He says he became interested in this kind of work, so he studied and developed it as a side hustle, okay, to supplement his income. He found no sterilizing equipment in makeshift operating theater, but he did find local anesthetics, surgical blades, and needles and other equipment. So, Christine, why are you down on this guy being an entrepreneur? You're always promoting entrepreneurship, and here's a guy trying to hustle out there and make a few extra bucks in the back of his Toyota Corolla. Who are you to keep this guy from making a few extra bucks? Why don't you believe in him?
I don't believe in anyone that does any kind of invasive anything on anybody that doesn't have the qualifications legally that you're supposed to.
But it said that he was doing humanity, half of humanity, a favor. Right, he was, it says, offering girth enhancements, length enhancements, and adding. I haven't said the best one yet. Pearl enhancements. Okay, where he added like little pearls under there that would add like ribbed for your pleasure right there in there. And he was doing that right in the back of his Toyota Corolla. This guy's a hustler. He knows how to get things done.
Okay. So what was his prior, like, what's his qualifications? What was he? The reason I'm asking is because I used to be a body piercer, and that was part of the like seminars that you could go to.
Oh, yes.
And
yes,
it would be
you know something about this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be, the implants, and it would be like heart-shaped on your hand or on your face or whatever. So that also got to, enhancements on like men. They would do these, it was almost like silicone or something, or
you did not go to these breakout sessions, like they're like, okay, you can go here or here, and you decided not to go to that one. Is that what I'm hearing?
I was like, I don't want to do these implants on people and then later realize, hey, was probably not a good idea, and I never liked how it looked. But I'm guessing that guy probably was a body piercer or something, and he thought he could start doing surgery.
Good. I like you're like thinking like you want to know his backstory because you feel like he's definitely into body piercing or something. Well, at the least, I would think you would tell me don't do this in the back of a Toyota Corolla.
That's gross.
It seems cramped to be able to do that.
And how sanitary.
Do it in a Waymo, okay? That's the way you should do it because at least it's autonomous and it drives itself, and you don't have to. I'm assuming he wasn't driving the Corolla at the time, but anyway,
what a mess that guy is.
Yes, and he advertised his services on TikTok, which I wish I would have seen.
You should have found one of the TikTok ads and then played it. Yeah.
Do you have a small penis? Do you wish you had lumps under your? Anyway. Okay, that's
is life unfair?
Is life you're right? Has life not been fair to you? Come to the back of my Toyota Corolla. I'll fix you up. All right. Yep. Our last topic on here is see if you agree with this. Half of Americans are going to incur debt this holiday season. It says as the holiday season approaches, statistics show that half of Americans are planning to take on debt. It paints a concerning picture of the financial state of U.S. consumers. So do you agree with that half of all consumers are going to go further into debt this November and December?
I absolutely 1000% believe that.
It's unfortunate, and I'm not even saying that my household is any different. It may be different. I don't know. I'll have to look at the old finances to find out.
I'm scared to look.
Right, yeah, maybe I'm just scared to look. But especially... Okay, it says half of all Americans. Let me ask you for this number, and I don't have the right number, so I'm just asking for your guess. What about Americans with kids? Americans with young, let's say less than 12-year-old kids. What percentage of them will be going into debt because they want their kids to have a great Christmas, right? So what percentage of them might be going into debt? Is it bigger than
So
50%?
I feel like it's less because I think where it becomes a dent in the pocketbook is when they're teens.
Ooh, because then they get
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, because with the younger kids, 12 and under, you're still able to be like, "Hey, like we got you this, this and this," and they're like super excited. And then as they become teenagers, they're like about what their friends have, the brand names and
Yeah.
all that. I think that's where it becomes an issue.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And you know, as I try to make kids happy with Christmas and everything, you see as they get older how the prices go up for
Oh,
things.
yeah.
What's the most, I don't know if
Yeah.
you can even say this, what's the most expensive thing a child has asked you for before?
Uh our younger one wanted the new Apple laptop. I believe that was 2 years ago. And we were staring at her like, "What's wrong with the laptop that you have?" And
Oh, she
she's
already
like,
had a
"Oh,
laptop.
yeah." And she's like, "Well, I want that one. Like, everybody has that one."
Did you
And then
get it?
they want purses. And we got a refurbished Apple one that wasn't the new one. And then she didn't even notice the difference. It's really this whole teenager thing that they love having what other people have, what's popular on TikTok, this and that. And we just got a Christmas shopping list, and it was, you know, oh, this Coach purse, and
Oh,
then this
gosh.
brand purse, and this, and for gift cards, and then this brand perfume, this. So it's a lot of that, and you don't get that kind of list for 12 and under. So you
Let
should
me
be
ask you
happy.
this. Okay. I'm going to test your in touchness with reality. What's the average amount that Americans spend on gifts?
Oh,
I
the
have a
average
number.
amount on anybody?
Well, I'll just put a blank in this article, okay? And this is from
Okay.
money.com. That's my source. It says Gallup's latest holiday forecast show Americans plan to spend about the same on gifts this year as last year, though the average amount blank is near record highs. What's the blank? What, and this is to the dollar. It's not even like rounded to a 5 or a 0 or
100.
anything. You think the average American spends $100 on, not on one person, but on all of Christmas, on all of
Oh,
Christmas.
all
Yes, 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 all of
a
Christmas.
thousand or 2,000 or
Pick one.
something.
Pick one.
Damn it. 1,000. That sounds simpler.
It's pretty good. It's $1,007. $1,007
See, I'm
dollars.
so good. I'm
That's
so
pretty
in
good.
touch.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
so
so
in
in
touch.
touch. Everybody, make sure you follow Christine Barnum
Oh
for
my
In Touch.
gosh.
And hey, she's already commented on almost all of our topics today because you were just rapid firing hot crypto opinions on almost everything this morning.
Yeah,
And
and I'm 2-0 on our guesses for
yeah,
yep.
you've got it all. Well, she knows so much that she thinks that she's going to be able to need universal. Oh well, I started that too soon. She's going to think you need universal basic income.
I don't think you need that.
Yo, you don't. Okay, well, we're going to find out. Everybody's talking about it, including Elon Musk. And Christine may think she's smarter than Elon Musk. Let's find out.
Maybe.
Christine's Corner, where the buzz is hot. Crypto trends or the latest pop plot. From gadgets that glow to stars in the sky. If it's on her mind, you know it's gonna fly. So plug in, tune in, let's take that
All right.
ride.
So, Christine, this week I saw Elon say that the Optimus robot was going to make it to where everybody was going to have extra time and they could do whatever they wanted with their time. And we would all have, he didn't say universal basic income, he said high universal basic
I
income.
know. I did see him say hi, UBI.
Right.
And I was like, why did he say hi? That's crazy because I don't know what he means by that. But I think I wanted to bring this up because it keeps popping up on everybody's timeline. And it's not just Elon. We've brought it up a few times on universal basic income, and this is becoming a household known topic in the US because they keep bringing it up. And I think it's time for us to expand on it and then our thoughts after, as usual. But I wanted to talk about UBI. If you guys don't know, it's universal basic income. Whether you're for it or not, it's here and it's knocking on the door. I want to go over the pros and cons real quick, and I want to make this fast because I want to know, Voice of DeFi, your thoughts on it.
Okay.
But okay, so let's go with the pros first. It gives people breathing room in a rather brutal economy like what we're living in today.
Okay.
And it could get worse too. People are saying we're not even in a recession yet, but I feel like we
It
are.
can always get worse.
Yes, and cost of living is insane right now. So imagining the economy getting worse is insane.
I
Okay.
want to know how it could be. I just looked to where your state, and I'm like, oh well, it could be California.
That is oh well, great example because yes, it's crazy. It does reduce poverty almost instantly because if UBI let's say it was like $500 to $1,000, that's just throwing a number out there to every household. Even that would help a lot of people. And then they're able to use it for basics and cover essentials or avoid going more in debt and then stabilize their lives. And $500 to $1,000, I don't know if UBI would be per household or it's like per person. Do you know?
I mean, it's whatever you want right now because it's only proposed. So
That's true. I wonder what it would be, but $500 to $1,000 isn't much, but I guess it would be enough to kind of stabilize a household where it would cover essentials, and then you avoid more debt. And then it boosts small businesses and local economies because people won't hoard their money and then they'll spend it more likely in small businesses, and the cash circulates and supports communities. Number four, it helps people transition between jobs. If AI and automation keep replacing jobs, UBI could act as a safety net so people could retrain or switch careers without going broke because it gives them a safety net.
Okay.
Last pro. It actually didn't reduce work effort in the trials when they tested UBI. Where did they do these trials, by the way?
I would love to know.
I know. In real UBI pilot programs, most people kept working. The money helped them cover basics, but not quit life. And that was like one of the number one things that we were scared of when we brought up UBI. Like, it kills dreams. Like, you're not going to want to work. But according to this, it didn't affect that. Okay, so moving on, the cons in UBI. Why people are skeptical, people like me are skeptical with UBI. Because it could make inflation worse.
Yes.
If everyone suddenly has more money and we don't increase the supply of goods, prices could rise. And we're already in the why is chips, a bag of chips, $7.
Right.
So
right.
that's
too much.
We're already in that territory. Okay. And then number two, it has to be paid for somehow. This just makes logical sense. And that would mean higher taxes, right? Or cutting important programs. And we don't know what that is, but we're in the phase of cutting all programs. So it might disincentivize work for some people. Most studies show that it doesn't, but there will be a small percentage who choose not to work, and that's politically explosive. And I do honestly believe that because we have programs like, you know, welfare or whatever it is. And then a lot of people, to meet that criteria, a lot of them can't make X amount of money, and then they go, well, I might as well just not work because if I do work, it's already going over that eligibility requirement and I'm just not going to do it. So we might go into that, but according to those UBI trials, that doesn't happen because maybe they don't even have a standard because everyone's going to have it. What else? It could replace welfare programs that people actually rely on. And some versions of UBI would eliminate food stamps, housing assistance, disability income, etc. So this could hurt vulnerable people more than it helps them. And that's really kind of, I don't know how that would work.
I got so much to say. I've been just biting my tongue and letting you say your stuff.
And I can't wait because they're already, these people in the welfare or assistance programs, that's essentially like not a UBI, but they're in financial assistance mode. So what does that do for them?
So
I would say they're not going to get.
No, they're not. I'm glad. So I'm glad you brought up welfare and things like that because that's where I'm going to start. in a sense, they have UBI already.
Right.
Okay. For whatever reason, the idea, right? So let me even back up further than that. The idea of UBI, right, is to give you some amount of income, perhaps to augment other income that you have, right? If we all have universal basic income and we're all given $2,000 a month, and then you're free to go get a job, right, to do whatever you need to do, and then you've at least got this $2,000 to pay your bills, right? You've at least got that, right? And if you're on a state-funded program, then on some level you have that already, right? On some level you are having this universal basic income already. So if everybody got it instead of just those in need, well, then it's going to replace, instead of just giving it to those in need, everybody is going to be able to get it, okay?
Right.
And now I guarantee you're going to have some problems with this, because now you, Christine, are going to get universal basic income, and also the person that works in McDonald's and needs that universal basic income to even pay the rent or put food on the table. They're going to get the same. Remember, this is universal basic income, and you're telling me the bleeding hearts out in California aren't going to get mad that you get the same thing that the person that is having trouble making ends meet? Y'all are each going to get the same $2,000 a month. There is no way. There is no way. I can almost assure you that there would be a push.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there'd be a push to get the disenfranchised, the not as well off people to get more money from the universal basic income. And guess who's going to pay for that? You are, right? Just like it is now. This is already happening on some level. The only difference is you're not getting this $2,000 right now. You're paying for it for somebody else, right?
No, yeah, and we're already having such an issue, right? Like how do we distribute this? And we're trying to cut people off, like not we, but the government is trying to cut people off or, raise the standards and eligibility requirements. And it's such a circus right now on dealing with that. So what I was thinking, and what you're saying is it could be tiered. Like, hey, if you make X amount, you're going to get, could be where you get less. And if you make less than said amount, then you're going to get more. And people are going to fight.
I think that's 100% what you would see is a tiered level. Right. They'd be like, if you make $1 million, then you'll get, $1,000 a month, which, who cares, right? If you make the $1 million. If you make, 500,000, you're in tier 4. And if you make less than $20,000 a year, you're in tier 1 and you get a full $5,000 a month, that sort of thing.
And that's where we're talking about, like, people already feel that way. People in the financial assistance programs are like, well, I can't get another job, even though that would tremendously help me, because then I don't get my food stamps or I don't get my
going to the next
housing
tier
assistance. So it that's where we say it kind of kills that dream or ambition. And I don't know in the UBI trials what they're saying, like, oh, it didn't really affect it. But also, if you look at places like Cuba and stuff like that, no matter what role you have, the salaries and hourly wages are eliminated. Everyone just gets the $2,000 a month. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor. It doesn't matter if you work at McDonald's. It doesn't matter if you are a taxi driver. Like,
now, see, that's awful. Because some roles,
is awful.
Well, some roles. The reason I'll say that is because some roles are like. Okay, I'll give you an example. My first job was at the Golden Corral. Okay, you ever heard of the Golden Corral?
Oh, yeah, the buffet.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, I started out as a dishwasher, okay? And I'm old, okay? So I wasn't making much money, okay? Less than $5 an hour, okay? And I'm in there. I'm scrubbing pots. I'm just trying to get the gunk off of all these buffet things. People are nasty. That's what I learned as a teenager, is that people are nasty, okay? There's just all the dishwashing. It was just so gross. By the end of the night, I'm a teenager and I've got acne and I've got all this oil all over me. It's just awful, okay? And then these cute little waitresses that I was interested in, they're coming in and they're like... Remember, I was getting paid less than $5, okay, an hour, okay? And these cute little waitresses were coming in and they're like, that nice man just gave me $25. And I was like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, I just kind of smiled at him. And, I'm just going to carry this nice little tray of food out to his thing. And I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. I'm here busting my tail out here and barely making any money. And you're carrying the food that the cooks are cooking and I'm washing on the dishes that I'm washing and just carrying it to them and being nice. And I'm not saying that being a waiter or waitress is easy work, but it was not as hard of work as being in there with the dirty dishes. Here's my issue in your Puerto Rico example. It was Puerto Rico, right? Maybe you said Cuba. Cuba example is that, yeah, that makes more sense. Here's my issue with that is being a surgeon or a ditch digger. That is much different than being, somebody, a plumber who has to literally deal with feces and things like that.
Right.
There are some jobs that are more dirty, that are more dangerous, that are those sort of things that deserve to get paid more, that come with more responsibility. And so because of that, yeah, I don't think that everybody should just get paid the same. Now, real quick, I just want to say some good things about universal basic income because I do think that this could happen. If everything could possibly go exactly like Elon says it could, and somehow this is magically paid for by somebody, I don't know who, is it him? Where does this money come from? That's what I want to know. Well, let's just really get into La La Land and feel like that's taken care of. If that can actually happen and everybody can have a livable wage that is given to them at a baseline, then I can see how it could work. But I've got to take a lot of big logical jumps of who's paying for this thing. Where is this money coming from before it does? Because remember, when everybody has the same amount of money, nobody has any money, right? Let me give you one more example, and then I know you got something to say, but I want to add more thing. They say that there's this asteroid in space right now, and it has like $1.4 quintillion of diamonds and gold and things like that on it, right? And we can't get it, but if somehow we could, they said like everybody on Earth could have like $1 billion or something like that. And I remember thinking like, who cares? If everybody has $1 billion, then nobody has $1 billion. Suddenly $1 billion becomes
is nothing.
A dime, a penny, which, pour one out for the penny. Because they're gone. You know that, right?
They're gone.
Yeah, yes, pennies are gone. Pennies are gone. All right, I've talked too much. You go. You talk.
No, that was great points. I just think I don't know how they're gonna do it. Do you? And then you brought up the humanoid robot that Elon brought up. So I'm suspecting he's thinking this will take all the work roles that require a lot of manual labor. Haha, don't worry, guys. You guys will be fine. Easy work. You guys all get the same amount. Are they going to tier it like you brought up earlier? Or are they going to do it like how Cuba does it? And no matter what role you have, the humanoids do the hard work. And then we all have some clerical, whatever work that the government assigns us to, you guys. And we all get $2,000 a month. And on top of that, you guys get an EBT card and, you guys all have Medi-Cal or, you guys all have like basic medical insurance and this and that. No one lives better than the other.
It's not an EBT card. This is given to you in a CBDC. Just be clear of where all this is headed. This is given to you on chain where they can follow, they want to know where that $2,000 goes to make sure it's not going to that Louis V bag.
Oh yeah, everything trackable on what you're like using everything on.
100%.
It starts to sound very like ration food.
Yes.
It's
so dystopian.
Like
yes.
Yeah, it's so dystopian, and I know that we're, teetering on dystopian worlds now and living in that reality. But I think we are facing to this situation where the conversation is starting to shift to not is UBI good, but do we even have a choice?
Yes.
Because the cost of living is so insane now. And you look at places like here, California, where they raise the hourly to like $20 an hour where I'm at, and it's still, they're like, we're barely able to live like with this and whatever. And everyone thought that you raise the minimum wage or the fast food minimum wage to $20 an hour. It's going to solve everything. Everyone's going to be able to live. Okay. Well, what we were beating on the table with is if you do that, we are just at a higher level of inflation and not being able to, everything else goes up. And that's what a lot of people didn't understand. And then I can't believe the lawmakers over here really did that. And that's what we're looking at. Like, you raise the wages while everything else went up. Chips are $8, freaking coffee's
Crazy.
$10. Like, so now we're at the same problem.
Look,
And no,
I'm cutting into probably my own segment, but I'm going to say a difference between Republicans and Democrats sometimes, and I'm going to say something nice about Democrats on the way to making my point. Is what you just said of raising the minimum wage. I think the intentions are good. Okay, I think the intentions are good. We want to make it to where it is a livable wage at the minimum wage level, and I completely agree that should. We do want that. We do want, I can say as a conservative, that I do want it to where a minimum wage where you could be able to live on, okay? But I think sometimes the left can get to where the intentions are kind
too
of
good to be true.
not even too good to be true. It's just like they are wanting their intentions to be the measuring stick. Well, we did this and this and this move, and it didn't work out. We crippled our economy doing it, but we meant well. we meant well with doing it, and usually the intentions are good enough. That's the measuring stick. Were we trying to do good? As to where I think the right is more like a business. It's like, well, what's the end point? Are we actually doing good? Are we actually making things better, or are we not? Because that's the way the right would run a business, right? They would say, like, let's look, are we making money? Are we doing what we set out to do? And if we aren't, then we need to cut out that program. And the left says, well, wait a second. We were having intentions with that program to, eliminate poverty, to whatever. And the right says, well, it's not working. We need to cut it out. And the left will say, oh my gosh, you want to cut out doing this thing that was going to help end poverty? And the right says, well, it's not any. Anyway, intentions are what drive the left, and endpoints, kind of results are what are driving the right. I appreciate the intentions from the left. I do. There's some good ideas that they want to accomplish, but whenever those things don't work, maybe like UBI, whenever it doesn't work, you're left with the mess afterwards. And sometimes we have to look ahead to whether we think something's going to work. All right, I've said too much.
Oh, that's great. You
said too much.
Drove that in there. I think that everything you said is true. The intentions are great, but we have to be realistic as well. And I wish that both parties could meet in the middle and be realistic.
Yes.
We can't sell dreams. And then when we're seeing the results, and if it's not working well and it's actually driving us into more debt, you need to have a real conversation of, hey, yeah, the intentions were good, but obviously we need a better solution. So let's go. And what solutions do you guys have? Okay, well, we think, and then just compromise. But we can't. That's like the bothersome
not anymore.
Thing is,
like I said, my segment's gonna be like 2 minutes here in a second. But I think part of the problem is it started out with like 24-hour news. Okay, where we could like watch politics as it happened, on CNN, that sort of thing. Then we get into the mobile phone TikTok generation where now we see every vote and everything that's going to happen politics-wise at the moment it happens. We're trained to hate the other side, and in the end, it just makes it to where now, as there were before, the lawmakers would make their decisions and it would affect us, the American people, in whatever way. Right. And now we have to follow it. We have to just hate the other side. It's not enough to like get something done. Instead, we need to own the libs or own the conservatives, that sort of thing. And that's
so bad.
It's a bad move.
It's so bad. I'm sad that this is where we're at now. And I'm also fascinated at the fact that a couple years ago, when we had first probably brought up UBI, we were like, yeah, right, that'll never happen. And now the conversation 2 years later has shifted not to, do
AI.
you believe in UBI? Like, blah, blah, blah. We're like, hey, do we even have a choice now?
It's AI. It's AI because AI is taking jobs, and it will continue to take jobs because AI is going to continue to get better. And unfortunately, as I look at, humans and our ability to do things better than robots, we've always been able to do things better than computers. On some level, and that's going away. That's slow. It seems to me
if
that
it's not gone.
Well, it will be gone eventually. I mean, the computers are getting better at doing things than we are, and that's probably going to continue. I don't see any human 2.0 coming out. If there is a human 2.0, it's going to be created by AI. All right, enough on that. I'm going to talk just real quick about the mirage of decentralization. Let's do that right now.
Voice lessons, you'll hear it loud and clear. Tech and crypto wisdom, the truth is here. Big thoughts, bold moves, cutting through the haze. When the voice speaks up, you'll be amazed.
All right. Actually, I need to change my lower third, as I always do. There it is. All right, so decentralization. I said this to Christine on a text this morning whenever Cloudflare went down, is with DeFi, we have like the world's most perfect financial system on chain, on blockchain. We've got this great system where not a middleman is needed. I don't need a bank to be able to move money to you, Christine. I can just do it via blockchain, and it works. It's a great system. It's decentralized. But is it really decentralized, or is it just merely a mirage? And the more I look into this, even crypto Twitter went down this morning whenever Cloudflare went down. Didn't you tell me Kraken and somebody else went down as well? Kraken?
Coinbase.
Yeah, Kraken and Coinbase down. We have this great backbone of blockchain that is completely crumbled whenever one of the pillars of our centralized systems go down, and it makes it to where what we have as a great technology can't be used. And this is a problem. For instance, with Cloudflare, they handle 20% of global web traffic. A lot of that traffic being crypto-based. How about centralized exchanges versus decentralized exchanges? What percent, okay, out of all market share, Christine, what percentage do you think is on centralized exchanges compared to decentralized exchanges?
I don't know. I wouldn't even have a number for that.
87.4% of all market share is on centralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges. So if Cloudflare goes down, you can't access your money. Remember, we've got this brilliant technology, and if it goes down, you can't access your money.
That's scary.
Assuming you're keeping your money on the exchange, which if you listen to here, you know not to do, right?
Yeah.
On some days, the centralized exchanges range between 75 to 93% of daily crypto trading volume. Think about that. 93% of crypto trading volume happens on centralized exchanges. Now, that's crazy to me and you, because you and I a lot of times will do things with a wallet, right? We'll use MetaMask.
Yeah.
We'll use Trust Wallet. We'll use whatever. And we'll do that, and we don't think a thing about it. It all works very well, okay? But most
Until
people...
it doesn't.
It does work pretty well, but if you're using just Coinbase to do everything, if you're using Kraken to do everything, and you're holding your funds there instead of putting it on your own wallet, then you could be there holding the bag. So the trading layer, the actual trading layer of crypto and DeFi is largely centralized. We want to say we're in this great DeFi world, okay? But it's not. It's just not. We've got so much of our DeFi world is stuck in a centralized skeleton, a centralized pillar holding us all up. Whenever those centralized pillars go down, it makes it to where it's obvious that we've got problems in making this whole ecosystem work. And this Cloudflare thing completely underlines that point today. That thing went out. You and I, now, not that we say that this show is decentralized or anything like that, but we talk about decentralized things. We almost weren't able to have this show just because Cloudflare went down. Amazon Web Services. I don't know if did we almost not have the show on the AWS? I don't know. I don't think that was the case then, but a lot of sites were down whenever that happened. So today's outage means when Cloudflare goes down or something like that, the crypto front ends freeze. We've got the blockchain layer, but the UI, the user interface layer, is completely centralized on almost everything. Sometimes your wallet, your exchange, it goes dark, and you are locked out, okay? The chain may be fine. Your funds may be on chain, assuming you're keeping them on chain, but your access to them may be completely out. What about if you're having a DeFi protocol where you need voting? You're in a DAO, that sort of thing. If you can't get to the front end, tough. It's not there, okay? I've got one more stat for you, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. Over 80% of the total value locked in DeFi. So you know how you go to a place where you're like, I'm gonna stake all my ETH, right? And it'll have the total value locked for all of it on there. You see it, the TVL. They say that 80% of that total value locked is controlled by about 5 entities. 5 different groups own 80% of the total value locked of crypto.
Whoa.
Okay? That's a 2025 report. So that's not, I'm not giving you like dated information. It's a 2025 report, okay?
That's crazy.
And so we've got the UI UX layer that's completely centralized. We've got the actual DeFi layer that's held by about 5 entities. We're not as decentralized as we think. There is still work to do. And I will still say this, though. You know how used to everything it would be, you're still early, bro. It's so early, right?
Yeah,
on some level, we're right. On some level, that's still true because we are nowhere near the decentralized dream that Satoshi dreamed up, right?
Right.
Instead, we have a lot of decentralization with a centralized backbone around it, but that backbone is soft at best. And when it goes down, it takes away the rails to and from the decentralized world that we need to have. So today got me a little concerned that it just made me so more aware of how far away we are from being in a completely decentralized, for making DeFi, making something that is foolproof to where it won't go down. It still can go down. It's just the centralized version that will go down and not the decentralized version. Decentralized
so what's the solution here?
The solution is to continue to find decentralized things, to not have all of our UI and UX plugged in a centralized solution. The problem is access to centralized solution is so easy. Coinbase is so easy to use. Kraken can be so easy to use. If you make it to where somehow some DeFi protocols, I have found them very easy to use. You just need to actually have people to use them. So there's some education that can help. There's probably some investment that investors need to make into DeFi protocols for even UI, UX sort of things. And we could probably do that. But I think we're years away. I think we're years and years and years away from being able to make the UI and UX actually decentralized. I think we're a long way away from doing that. So why is it always, well, no, you had a downer of a topic today. I feel like I always have a downer of a topic, but yours was.
Mine was.
Yeah, yours was a downer of a topic too. It's okay.
It was.
We need to, next week we need to find happy topics where we can think about the glorious future of DeFi and the glorious future of tech or something like that. I don't know.
UBI in a happy tone.
Well, no, that sounds like something I would say to OpenAI. Tell me the same thing you just told me, but in a happy tone.
In a happy tone.
Right. Well, this has been good. This has been episode 33 of By the Rumor. By the way, you can still share this out even whenever we are done. I appreciate everybody that has been in here today. We had a decent amount of people in here, so make sure that you come here next week. We will be here on Tuesday, just like today, at the exact same time, and we will do this thing again where we'll have episode 34. By the way, St. John says it's the dilemma of the hardware infrastructure, and that's absolutely true. Since there's a hardware infrastructure, then I can't decentralize hardware creation. I don't think. Somebody tell me how I can decentralize NVIDIA.
Let's ask the chat. Let's ask chat.
Well, they just say it's a dilemma, and they're right. St. John is right. It's going to take more. It's going to take more than just asking the chat, probably. You have to actually have some good investors to be able to do that. And in the end, the hardware infrastructure probably has to remain centralized. It is what it is. I don't have any solutions for that. Just as usual, I have problems, but no solutions. So I can gripe.
That's what we do. We bring the problems, help us with the solution.
And you guys can come up with the solutions. That's right. All right, we will be back next week. Christine, anything you want to add before I play this little outro?
No, but thank you guys for joining us today. Make sure you guys give us a follow. And then, like Voice of DeFi said, you could definitely share this chat out. Even though we're finishing it up, go ahead and rewatch it if you need to and share it out. Thanks, guys.
Before I say bye, I want to say hi to Matt. Matt is, you know Matt, Christine?
Matt.
He's there. What's up, Matt? Matt.
Chasing the thrill of the digital hive. in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the roar the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the rumor where the silence screams, in a world of risks and electric dreams. Take on the future, take the ride. Shark minds up on the darker side. Shark minds up on the darker side. Sharks don't lie, but the faces do. Watch the market sway like it's testing you. The gossip's currency is hard to ignore. Behind locked doors lies so much more.